Let's get right into it.
Number 7.
Picture this. You're a medieval peasant, and the Black Death is knocking at your door. Do you reach for gloves? A mask? Nope. You stuff garlic cloves into your shirt like you're trying to keep vampires away from your armpits, which, funny enough, was basically the same logic people used back then. Garlic was treated like the Swiss Army knife of ancient medicine. Stomachache? Garlic. Plague? Garlic. Demon possession? Just double the garlic. Your entire body could reek like an Italian restaurant, but hey, apparently it meant you were protected. Now, here's the kicker. Science actually backs up a little of this madness. Garlic has allicin, which does have antimicrobial properties. But did it stop plague-ridden fleas? Not really. Did it keep you from smelling like a biohazard? Absolutely not. Imagine walking through a crowded village and everyone smells like garlic bread that's been left out for 3 weeks. Congratulations! You've basically just joined the first all-natural deodorant cult. The irony? Garlic did repel one thing: people. If you smelled like garlic death, your friends probably didn't want to be around you. Which means, without realizing it, garlic users might have accidentally practiced early social distancing. Yep, medieval garlic pits, the original 6 feet apart.
Number 6. This is the part where history gets truly unhinged. At some point in the Renaissance, Europeans decided that, yes, eating ground-up Egyptian mummies was a fantastic way to cure headaches, stomach aches, or just vibes, I guess. Imagine popping an Advil, but instead of a pill, it's Uncle Ramsay's in powdered form. Apothecaries literally sold this stuff like it was the GNC protein powder of the 1600s. And the demand was so high, people started faking mummies, as in grave robbers baked recently dead bodies in ovens until they looked ancient enough to grind up and sell. Nothing like a little artisanal small batch corpse dust for your migraines. Science, by the way, says there is zero evidence that eating human jerky dust does anything but give you parasites. But people swore by it, partly because of the idea of sympathetic magic. You eat the body of the dead, you absorb their life force. Yeah, instead, you probably just absorbed their tetanus. The only miracle here is that Europe didn't collectively die of food poisoning. But hey, at least they were committed. Nothing says health conscious like sprinkling a little farro on your oatmeal.
Number 5. You've got a headache? Slice open a vein. Feeling sluggish? Open a vein. Literally any problem. Cough, bad mood, pimple, stubbed toe. Medieval doctors had one answer: drain you like a Capri Sun. The belief was that your body was full of humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, yellow bile. And if those humors got out of whack, you were doomed. The solution? Get rid of some blood until you felt balanced. Translation: weaken yourself until your body gave up trying to complain. Doctors used leeches, knives, even cups heated with fire to suck out blood. People walked around faint, pale, and wondering why their cure made them feel like they'd been hit by a cart. Modern science? Yeah, it says bloodletting fixed exactly nothing, except maybe iron overload in rare cases. Otherwise, it was like trying to cure a drought by spilling more water on the ground. But here's the wild part. People kept going back. It was the medieval equivalent of a detox juice cleanse. You hated it, it made you weak, but everyone swore it reset the body. And just like juice cleanses, it was basically expensive suffering with bonus bragging rights.
Number 4.
So here's a thought experiment. You wake up with a nasty cough in the year 1500, a doctor strolls in, strokes his beard, and prescribes liquid mercury. Yes, the same shiny metal that thermometers scream about when they break. Back then, they were like, "This looks magical, let's drink it." People literally swallowed mercury, smeared it on wounds, and even used it as a detox paste. The logic was that mercury's strange liquid at room temperature vibe meant it had special life-giving powers. Spoiler alert, the only life-giving power mercury has is giving you neurological damage faster than you can say, "Oops, my teeth fell out." And yet, mercury stuck around as a treatment for centuries, especially for syphilis. Doctors told patients, A night in the arms of Venus leads to a lifetime on Mercury. Translation, enjoy being slowly poisoned until your nose collapses. Honestly, that's not medicine, that's just creative torture with bonus shiny aesthetics. Imagine trusting a doctor who hands you a bottle of literal quicksilver and says, "This will fix you right up." No, doc, it's going to fix me into an early grave. The only detox you're getting is from life itself.
Number 3.
This one's straight from ancient Egypt, and it's exactly as glamorous as it sounds. For birth control, women would, how do I put this politely? They'd insert crocodile poop. Yep, that was the plan. Not exactly a trip to the pharmacy, more like a trip behind the Nile where the crocs hang out. The theory was that the dung would act as a barrier, plus maybe the magical properties of the crocodile would ward off pregnancy. Science today would say, no. Not only is that disgusting, but it's also about as effective as shoving mud in your Wi-Fi router and hoping it works better. The sad truth? Crocodile dung is alkaline, which means it might have actually killed some sperm. But along with it, probably your chances of not getting a raging infection. Imagine explaining that to a modern doctor. "Doc, I've been using the crocodile method." You wouldn't leave with a restraining order. You'd leave with a restraining order from biology itself. Still, for thousands of years, this was an actual strategy, which just goes to show, people will literally try anything to avoid diapers.
Number 2. Got a headache? Bad mood? Possessed by demons? Ancient doctors had a fix. Drill a hole in your skull. No anesthesia, no sterile tools, just raw carpentry on your cranium. Trepanation was practiced by everyone from the ancient Egyptians to the Mayans, and the idea was simple. Bad spirits are trapped in your head. Let's give them an exit door. Imagine sitting there with a migraine while a guy with a chisel says, "Don't worry, this'll take the edge off." Yeah, by letting your entire soul escape. Shockingly, some people survived. Archaeologists have found skulls with neat little circles carved out and signs of healing, which means not only did they survive the surgery, but they also lived long enough for their bone to grow back. Basically, ancient people were tougher than Wi-Fi signals in a concrete basement. Did it work? Probably not, unless your definition of work is turning your skull into a Swiss cheese sampler. But hey, at least they were committed to DIY home improvement of their own heads.
Number 1. You know that thing in your fridge that's been sitting there a little too long? The bread with green fuzz growing on it? Ancient Egyptians and Greeks didn't see trash, they saw medicine. If you had an infection, they'd slap moldy bread right on the wound like it was the Band-Aid of the gods. Here's the wild twist. It kind of worked. Modern science eventually discovered penicillin, the world's first real antibiotic, by accident in the early 1900s. And guess what? That fuzzy mold? Same general idea. So while most ancient cures were basically biological pranks, this one was an accidental home run. But picture it from the perspective of the time. You're lying there with a nasty cut, and your healer shows up with yesterday's sandwich. They press it on your leg and go, "Trust me, this will keep the evil spirits out." And somehow, it did. Occasionally. Probably not in the cleanest, safest way, but hey, who's counting? Of course, plenty of people still died of infections because ancient mold wasn't a regulated pharmaceutical. It was just bread trash. You never knew if you were getting helpful penicillin mold or just the kind that wanted to eat your arm for lunch. Still, it's one of those rare cases where ancient humans accidentally stumbled on something science later proved legit. Basically, they invented medicine by being too lazy to take out the garbage. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.